Okay. Okay. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to day one of No Code Africa training. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a couple of persons to join the StreamYard studio. Yeah, so I can get some form of assistance with regards to if at all I am audible enough, or if at all the things that I will be presenting will be visible enough. Okay, so I've seen some few persons have joined, so I will just start by greeting, right? So Joy, Ivan, Bethan, Technazus, Margaret, City, Woman, Daniel, Sunday, Adjama. Okay, so I've seen a lot of persons here. Victor, Ugochi, okay, there's a ghost. Bamifemi, Ayodele, S-Team Tag, Digital, Mudiaga, Oluwa, Triumph. Okay, so we have a couple of persons that have joined the session so far, and we're not going to waste time at all. I'm going to introduce myself, and then from there we will just jump into the real essence of today's class, right? So I don't know, am I audible enough? So the guys that are in the studio and the guys on the YouTube live, please, if at all I'm very audible, please just drop it as a comment for me if you can hear me very well. I need to be sure that I can be heard. Hello guys, just drop it for me as a comment. Oh, audio is good. All right, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you. Okay, so my name is David Orok, and I'm an entrepreneur, a tech entrepreneur, and I'm also the founder of No Code Africa. I'm the founder of Space. Yeah. So but right now Space is the main sponsor of this program, right? Yeah. So this program is basically designed to teach early stage African startup founders how to build early stage African startup founders, entrepreneurs, technology enthusiasts, techies, right? How to build web and mobile applications without having to write a single line of code. Now, the training is designed to really, really favor early stage startup founders, because it's actually very expensive to, try to hire a software developer to build an MVP for your startup, especially if at all your startup is highly dependent on maybe mobile applications or web applications, right? So it's actually very expensive to hire a a tech person to build the software for you. All right, so so that's why we are doing this training. We're doing it for free, like 100% free. And in as much as this is 100% free, we also have like a plan, right? We have an aim and goals for what we are doing. And the number one aim for this program is we want to have like a good number of people who know how to build mobile and web applications without having to write a single line of code. We want to be able to assist a good number of startup founders to launch out their product, like launch out your startup idea without having to wait for too long to be able to build let's say an MVP, right? We don't want you to spend so much of money, right, trying to pay a software developer to build an MVP for your application. We want you to launch really fast. And for the techies here, we want you to be able to get a skill that can, help you become easily employable, right? We want to be able to have access to jobs that you can, work and live better lives. That's the idea about the whole training. Yeah. So now we're going to teach you guys how to build these mobile and web applications without writing codes. And this is the second cohort of this training. We had the very first training. It started in January 3rd, January 2023. That's this year, and it lasted for 6 weeks. Yeah, because the training is always going to be 6 weeks training, right? So I really want everyone here to, take active participation in the training, because it's going to really, really inspire me and motivate me with regards to the work that we're doing here, right? So I have said that, and then the next thing I am supposed to say is the part that has to do with the attendance, right? This is a free training, but now we had to, take some assessments, like judging from the experience that we had in the very first cohort. We had over 900 people who registered. Okay, not 900 actually. We had 1,000 plus people that registered to participate in this program, and then we had 900 plus people in the WhatsApp community, right? And then out of that numbers that I have just listed out already, we had just less than 50 people who did their final projects, because at the end of the program, you'll be asked to work on any project you want to work on. So it can be your startup project, right? It could be a particular idea you've always wanted to, see. All right, so we don't necessarily give you a particular project and say, oh, this is the one we want you to work on. We want you to work on this. No, we don't do that. So the only thing that we do is we will tell you, think about the projects that you can, implement, that can solve problems for, your environment, right? Just think about the problem, and then find a way to build it with no code tools, right? With the tools that we're teaching you. In the very first cohort, we taught the applicants how to use Adalo, right? Adalo was really, really simple. What you're about experiencing is like let me just laugh about it, right? It's going to be complex, right? It's going to be complex, but it's going to be really fun. Like, sincerely, it's going to be really fun, because you're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to learn how to stretch your mind to, achieve your goals. Because for real, let me just be motivational here. You have to learn how to do hard stuff. That's the way you grow. Okay, so for this training, we have an application we call the attendance app, right? Yeah, so attendance app is what we will be using to check attendance for every single student. Now we just want to be able to monitor who is participating and who is just there, right? And then we will also be giving credits, awards, and some prizes to active members, like active students that are really, really taking this very serious. So yes, we'll be giving prizes. We will be giving some supports, not necessarily financial, right? So, but we will give you some support that will motivate you to, take the whole training really serious. Okay, so that being said, I also want to say that yeah, good spell, you got it right. Yeah, do hard stuff, do hard things. That's the idea. For you to be able to grow in life and succeed, you have to just learn how to do hard stuff. Yeah, because if you do the simple stuff, you're just gonna get simple rewards and simple returns. So learn how to do hard stuff, hard things, right? So without saying much, I'm going to go ahead and start making presentations. I will start with the attendance application, right? Because lots of persons had like issues using the application. So I will just, go through the whole process again. Not necessarily from the beginning. I wouldn't want us to waste so much time on that, but I really want everyone to be on the same page. Okay, so I'm going to start making a presentation. So let's close on this. And all right, so where do I start from? Let's close this too. Okay, so I'm gonna make a presentation right now. Okay, so right, I will be going back to the studio from time to time to just be sure that my screen is being seen. So guys, please, if I told you can see my screen, just drop a comment for me that you can see my screen. Yeah. So this is the attendance application, and I'm going to make it available for everyone to see it after now. Like I'll drop the link. This is the link to the attendance application. I built this using a couple of hours. Really, I didn't want to spend so much time building it, but gradually, right? So we will collaborate in improving the application, right? So, and yeah, that brings me to the part that part in FlutterFlow that allows users to collaborate on projects. So I will talk extensively about that. Yeah, so this is the application, right? So when you come to this particular link, you will be able to see what we have here. That's the link of the application, right? And then it will bring you here. Sometimes it might bring you to an existing, if at all it had like a slash dashboard, like, I mean, like if at all we had like an extra slash here, and then maybe dashboard something, right? If at all we had that, it will bring you to maybe a dashboard, and then you might see someone else's details, or you might not even see anything, right? We're going to try that as well. And then the main essence of the application is for you to punch in and punch out. I will show you what that means. So let's start like this. I'm going to go ahead, and if it brings you to a dashboard, I mean, when you follow the link here and it brings you to a dashboard like this, right? I want you to just ignore what you're seeing at first. Just come to here, and then click on the settings. That's initially to take you here. So you just click on the settings icon here, it will bring you here, and then you can just go ahead and log out. Yeah, so when you log out, it brings you here. So if you don't have an account, you have to sign up. So you type in your account here. Do I have an account I would like to use? No, I don't. So let's say you click here to type in your details, and then you click on create an account. It's a create accounts for you. Now, a couple of things will not show properly, right? I had already shared a video of how it would appear. So let me just try to log in again, and then show you a couple of things that you should do. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have actually signed up on the platform, and I will try to outline some of the key benefits of using FlutterFlow in a few minutes from now. All right. So when you've created an account, it will bring you to this dashboard, but a lot of things will not show like this. You won't see your name here. This place will be grayish. Yeah, I think grayish or brownish. There will be nothing here, right? And you won't see you won't probably see projects here, right? So because you have to create your own project before you can see something here. And then if you click on the settings icon here, you won't see an image. You will just see like a brown gray widget here, right? Yeah, so I will try to describe that later. So all you just need to do is type in your name here. When you see that, just type in your name here and go ahead and then click the picture button here. It'll bring you here. Then you can go ahead and then select your picture. Let's say I select my picture here. It will say uploading file, and when it is done, it will say success, right? That means the file has been uploaded to a temporary database provided by FlutterFlow, and then you need to still click on update. Let me change my name here. So let's say David Edit. Right, so we can see some changes. All right, so you can go ahead and click here. I've uploaded my image. Yeah, it doesn't really show the image. Later on, we will upgrade the application such that if you upload it, it should just show some sort of temporary image here, right? Then I click on update settings. So if you can see now, it changes my name from what it was before to this, right? And then the picture is the same because I'm uploading the same picture. Okay, so after you've done that, everything changes properly, and then you have your name here. You have a basic structure of your application. So the idea of these wasn't is just for us to be able to see the schedules for each of the classes, and I want you guys to always be using it to sign in. That's to join the classes and leave the classes, end the classes. Now if you click on the button here that looks like a play button, so you click on it, and then you will see the weekly schedule. So in the very first week, now the training is for 6 weeks. So the very first week is going to be for FlutterFlow. Second week is going to be for Bubble. Although this week on Thursday, we're going to have a lesson with the founder of Atomic Fusion. Yeah, so he is a Bubble expert, right? So he is going to take you on introduction to Bubble on Thursday, right? So but this is the arrangement. So FlutterFlow is for the very first week, and then the second week is for Bubble. The third week is for Bubble plus FlutterFlow. Basically, this last one is for complex functions and functionalities that you can, do in Bubble and FlutterFlow, and possibly deploying your application into Play Store, App Store, web publishing, and a lot of things, right? So that's for that. Then the last 3 weeks is for you to work on your projects. Yeah, so that's like the arrangement we always have. Okay, so if you click on the FlutterFlow, which is for week 1, you will see it like this, and then you can click on Monday, right? So you click on Monday, you will see this. This is what we are having right now. Okay, so you will learn how to create a login and logout functionality for your app using FlutterFlow. This is one of the things that we're going to do today, right? So you can click here to join the classes, which I will click now, and then YouTube. It will bring you to YouTube, so you will see it like this. And okay, so then when you have to click on the join classes, and after you've clicked on the join classes, it will bring you to here. And when you're brought to this particular part, you will attend the classes. When you're done attending the classes, at the end of the classes, as soon as we just end the classes, you have to come back to the class and click on end classes now. So when you click on end classes now, you will see class ended, and by that you will be able to see your attendance logs here, right? So I just ended a class and then I started a class, so you can see the time log differences, right? So that's the basic idea about the whole thing. I really want you guys to take this signing of attendance really serious. So you come here, you click on join class to join class when it is time for you to join classes, and then click to end the classes when you're done ending the classes. Now, for people who are not currently in this class, or if at all at some point you will miss the class, I will want you to still punch in and punch out. That means join the classes when you want to go through, let's say like this class now, it's been recorded and it's going to be made possible for you to rewatch it later on YouTube, right? So I will still need you to click the join classes when you want to go through it, and then come back and click it. Now, I just want you to do this because I want to know the people that are active and the people that are not active, so that I can figure out ways to help the people that are not active, right? So if you need extra motivation, if you need assistance in something, yeah, that's like the idea. So if I don't have these data, I wouldn't be able to know how to help. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of talking about the attendance application. So I will just stop sharing and talk briefly. So now, okay, so still blurry, it's clear now. So some person say it's blurry. Okay, so I think what you need to do, if at all the video is blurry, is you need to increase the resolution of your your YouTube display. All right, let me show you what that means, right? So let me present again. Share screen, Windows and share. So may the force be with you. Okay, so this is YouTube, right? So now what you can do to change that for you, you just need to come to, where is it, yeah, come here to settings, like here, whether you're using a mobile phone or you're using your what is it called, like a system to watch this. Just click on the settings here and you will see quality, right? So here I'm using the maximum, that's auto 720 pixels. All right, so if you click here, you will see the maximum. So just go for the maximum. All right, if you go on auto, if at all your network slacks down a bit, it will bring you down to 144, 240, 360, and then that's basically where you get it blurry, right? So just try to use it at 720. Okay, so and then this is another thing, right? For some of the persons who will be taking this training really serious, I know very well, I have been in the system, I I know how things are, right? So it is possible for you to have issues with data, right? So I am very aware of this. So but if at all you want to get yourself out of that, right, just let me know, let us know that you are very serious, right? So take this whole training very serious. It is free, sponsored by Illspace, but we will still find ways to provide support, right? Yeah, some persons that are going to be like really, really active with this, we will give you guys data. We will have, depending on how you the data that we get from the attendance application, and then your engagement with the whole training and all of it, we will know how to help you, right? So even when it comes to data, we will try to see how we can provide some persons with data. Like by that I mean, in a week we could give 1 gig, 2 gig of data to people that are really serious, right? And then in a month we can give some persons maybe 5 gig, right? Yeah, we're gonna do that because there's a lot of benefits for us here. It's, yeah, we're doing it for free, right? Yeah, but we have the benefit is, if you're good with this thing, right? If at all you're good with building applications, it, though No Code Africa is an NGO, we have other revenue generation systems, right? We're building a marketplace for technical talents, and then we're also building a platform where you can list what is it called, no code applications. So if at all you get to be so excited about this, and then you build many applications, right? We will provide a platform, a place where you can publish your application for sale, right? So yeah, this is one of the ways we intend to generate funds on the side to to continue making sure that this service is going on, right? So that simply means that if you're very, very hardworking, it's going to benefit us in the long run, because we will be able to have top talents and no code developers who will build amazing application and publish it on our marketplace, where a lot of people can buy from it. Yeah, so you can publish applications there and people will buy it. You make money from it. We take a small percentage of as commission, right? So it's just one of the ways that we intend to make money later, right? So for this program, so if at all you show us that you're very, very excited about this, and then you're like, you really want to get really good at this thing, we will find ways to support you, right? Yeah, so do not worry yourself so much about network and data and all of that. Just let us know that you're very serious. Be engaged in the whole training and be available and go through all of this, right? Be visible. That's the only thing I would like to say. Be visible. Help your colleagues. We have a group called Meet and Greet. No Code Africa Meet and Greet. So let me begin to drop some links right now for some persons who are joining the application for the first time. And where is it, so I'm going to drop the link to the attendance application. I have dropped it on the comment section on YouTube channel, and I am also going to drop a link to joining the WhatsApp group. Let me try to get that quickly. All right, so because I know that some persons here might actually not be in the group, so I will just paste the link to the group so you can join. Yes, someone is asking if the class is recorded. Yes, the class is recorded. So all right, and let me check through some of the questions that is been asked here. So okay, so will the classes be recorded? Yes, the classes will be recorded. What else? Okay, someone said if there's a catch somewhere, it's gonna be free all through, right? We just want you to get really serious with it. We won't like charge you at any point, right? No Code Africa is an NGO. Yeah, so we will always make this service for free, right? So the basic expenses that we make is being covered by another organization called Illspace. Yeah, so that's perfectly okay. And we are also expecting some supports from other places that would like to fund our NGO, right? So yeah, we're going to make it free always. Yeah, so but we want it to be really good, because after a while we will have a marketplace. Like I said, we'll have a marketplace where you can list your no code applications. You can build stuff, right? You can build an attendance application. You can build QR code food menu app, something like that, and list it there, and someone can buy it for maybe $10. Don't make it too expensive. $10, $50. The idea is for you to have some form of turnover, right? So one person buys it doesn't mean another person can buy it. So they can buy it and then customize it, or they can buy it and you can help them customize it with extra fee. We will build a platform and then we'll make it available. So this is one of the ways that you will make money from it. And also on the side, we're also trying to build Talcon, right? So Talcon will be more like a Italian marketplace. Yeah, it's taking a bit some time because we're trying to really make sure that everything is like really good. All right, so that's like the whole thing. Okay, guys. So can FlutterFlow be used to build complex applications? Yes. All right. So when we're doing our trainings on what is it called, Adalo, right? Adalo can build complex stuff, right? It can do a lot of things, but it's not really very simple to customize a lot of things, right? And then there are so many things that are not really free compared to using FlutterFlow. I will explain something really quick right now. Let me see if I can even have access to Adalo right now. Okay, so let me try to present again, and then I will just continue presenting so we can flow like that seamlessly. All right, so okay, so this is Adalo. We're not talking about Adalo today. I just wanted to like make some comparison. I don't know if I can still have access to it. Yeah, because I had locked out of a lot of things, so I will just try to see if I can have access to basic stuff. Oh, I've been signed out. Okay, so all right, so I'm not going to sign in right now. Okay, I'll just go ahead and explain something. So while you're using Adalo, right, to build your application, so many persons here won't even know about Adalo, right? So while you're using Adalo to build your application, right, the free version of Adalo doesn't allow you to store a lot of data, right? After a while, it tells you that your storage bucket or your allowable storage is filled up. So you need to like subscribe, and then the pricing is here's the pricing for $1, right? So you see here, starter, this is the free part, right? It tells you 200 records per application. Now this 200 records includes your user records and the data that you store in the database and all of that. So in fact, it won't even, we have 400 plus registered applicants for Cohort 2. So assuming that we're trying to just create an application like the attendance app for Nocode, like what we have done on FlutterFlow, most of the users wouldn't even be able to create the account. I mean, like create an account, because after a while it to tell it to say that it's full, right? So now, FlutterFlow is quite different. It has an external storage. Let me show you something here real quick. So this is right. So I hope I don't share some. Okay, so now this is Firebase, and I will take my time and I'll be slow later on, but I will be a little bit fast now as the energy goes, right? So this is Firebase. Now, Firebase is like the brain, right? The brain of, not really the brain, right? Yeah, well, you can say it like that. It's more like the bucket or a place where you store in data that you will use in your FlutterFlow application. Yeah, so every single thing that has to do with users are stored here. You know, user details, data. Like now, if you can see here, right? So I came here to change the, what is it called, the location of the image, like the image for day one in the No Code Africa attendance app, right? So day one. So if you can remember, this is the picture that you have there. So I had to put it on photos, Google Photos. Then from there I copied the image address, and then I used it in Firebase, right? Because it allows you to get a lot of information from different places, right? So you can put it here, but now Firebase has like, it allows you to do authentication. It allows you to store data. I will have to start this thing all over from scratch so that you can really understand it. But this is just an introduction. So I will run through it, get you really excited. And then later on, we will try to just build something basic. I just want you to be able to build what is it called? I wanted to be able to build a login and logout functionality for an application at the end of this class, right? So that was the aim of today's class. So I will take you through an introduction to FlutterFlow, tell you a lot of things. Then from there, we can now go ahead and build something basic, okay? So After a while, I will go back to the studio and be able to see the questions. So let's just go straight into the training right now. Okay, so let's type FlutterFlow here, right? So FlutterFlow.io, and then this is it. So build application faster than ever, guys. I love FlutterFlow. Now I'm saying this publicly. This is me like trying to profess my my love for FlutterFlow. I will explain every single thing, and then you will also see why I love it. Now the platform is really beautiful. It allows you to build like very beautiful UIs. That's user interfaces, right? So you can customize everything. Like you can build some really crazy cool things here. So what else? Let me just show you some of the things. Like look at this, try a demo of FlutterFlow. These are some of the things that have been built with FlutterFlow, right? So responsive application for business use cases, the ability to manage leads and all of that. And these are some of the reviews people make, right? So okay, so this is it. And then build differently. What else? Customize everything. Now, this is one of the cool stuff, right? So you can customize everything in your application. And it's really, really affordable, right? I'm going to show you guys every single thing. So what customers say, and these are some of the applications that have been built, like senior products that have been built with Adalo. This is Vetri, and this is the application. It's already on Playstore and also an app store. You can build like some crazy cool stuff with Adalo. So you can also download your codes and deploy. So like for myself, right, I write Flutter, the real Flutter. Okay, this is also the real Flutter, right? But the first Flutter was basically it allows you to write codes. Like you can build your project by writing code. So yeah, I write Flutter, and Flutter runs on Dart, right? So Dart is the programming language for Flutter. Flutter is more like the framework. It allows you to build cross-platform application. That means you can build with one code. You can deploy for Android and deploy for iOS simultaneously with ease with code, right? So now these guys, the FlutterFlow team, they understand that most persons will still want to be able to customize the application by code, right? So, well, you can do a lot of things with FlutterFlow, but they might be certain things that you can't really. Maybe I thought you're more of a like very serious developer, because I know that in this training, I'm sure that there's some developers here too who are like badass developers, right? So, now they might still want to be able to customize their applications, right? So FlutterFlow allows you to do that. So you go ahead and do drag and drop, and then build the application on FlutterFlow, and then when you're done, you can download your code and deploy. So if you click here, view code, you see it's going to show you a couple of things. So this might take a couple of time to load, right? It shouldn't. All right, so let's see. So you will be able to see, like for instance here, right? So something like this, you'll be able to like see the codes. It's supposed to show some things here. Okay, so yeah, this is it. So this is it. This for this particular design, for instance, right? So this container, the background image, the logo widget, all of these things are basically called widgets. So right, anything that you see that is currently showing some sort of orange line, these are like widgets, right? So every single widget here has an equivalent code for it. So after you finish building, you can actually come and download your codes, like everything. You can download the codes, you can download the full application as APK and put it on Play Store if you don't want to pass through publishing it on Play Store on via FlutterFlow. So it's really amazing. Like it's super cool, guys. Like really, really cool. So let's go back here. You can clone projects. That means access to, you've been given like access by the originator, the lead person, right? So you can clone the projects. And then so this platform FlutterFlow, it has been featured in Google I/O and also featured here in Capterra. So they are also more like Google partners, and they have like 350,000 users, and it's really cool. They upgrade these applications like almost every day, right? So it's really stable, like it's stable and up to date. And then they are backed by Y Combinator. I think Y Combinator happens to be the very first venture capital that actually invested in the business. So it's really, really cool. And I recommend this to early stage African startup founders. There's no need for you to go try to find a software developer to build an MVP for your business. So you can just come here and use FlutterFlow to build and deploy and test and from there gather some information from your customers and iterate your product on the go. Really, that's how beautiful this is, right? So without further ado, okay, so let's go ahead and then like go ahead and sign in. All right, so if you don't have an account, go ahead and start for free, right? So then you click on sign in. It usually takes some time to load in some cases, but depending on your system and your network, and everything should be fine, right? So these are some of the basic projects that I have worked on, right? So the attendance application, edited 22 hours ago, and all of it. So drop a drone, login app, Fiverr app, quiz app, and a lot of things. So now one of the things that I want you to check out is this. Where is it? Okay, so now if you want to go ahead and create a new product, you need to just come here to create new, and you click on create new, and then you go ahead and then give your project a name. So let me go back. I will try to be repeating myself as frequent as possible so that you can have an idea of what I am doing. Yeah, so let's say you've actually clicked on start for free, you do all the signing up, and then you then log in, and then you will be brought to this dashboard. So you can have both dark mode, and like I can click here and then I can see everything in white, and basically like this. So I think I prefer like this. So this is the dark mode, right? So then you can click here to create a new application. So it says here, and just always make sure that you read everything that it just says, right? I think that's one of the ways that I learned, right? So create new projects, right? Select a template or name your project and create a blank app below, right? That's basically what you can do here. So you can go ahead and look for templates here, right? So there are lots of templates, right, that you can start with. You don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. If you don't have a UI for your project already, so you can come here and pick some templates and then start working on it. Yeah, so I will show you how to edit some templates, take off some things, and all of that. So today, what are we going to work on? We want to work on login and let's call it logino. Yeah, so basically logino is a login and logout application, right? So that's just it. So logino. Then after you've typed this in, you just click on create blank, right? So you just click on create blank. Okay, so you wait for it to load, it to pop this up, and then you will see this particular stage. Now this is where you can go ahead and then click on, just try to read everything. Like anytime you see something, read it. So project setup step 1 of 2, that means there's going to be another step, which is supposed to be 2 over 2. Then project name, set the project and package name below to begin with. So this is the project name. You don't necessarily, you can edit this. You don't necessarily need to edit this. Please just leave this alone the way it is. And then set up Firebase. This will always be checked like this. So leave it the way it is. And then please don't skip. Go ahead and do next step. All right. So on this next step now, it will ask you to add Firebase to your project. Now, don't forget, it doesn't store, FlutterFlow doesn't handle the storage of your of the files that your application needs, right? It doesn't handle that. It requires you. Okay, guys, I'm going to just try to check the studio to be sure that I'm being heard. Okay, someone said the view is blurry. Please try to increase your resolution. Right. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so all right, so here it is. Add Firebase to your project. Decide it's optional, right? Yeah, it's optional, guys. It's you can choose not to add it. You can put your stuff somewhere else using APIs. You can host your applications somewhere else using APIs. But I really recommend that you use Firebase, right? Firebase is it's a tool I recommend. It's for you to use in storing your applications, right? So here it says you have to put the Firebase project ID. So that means you need to put something here, right? Yeah. So, and then you need to also enable authentication, allow users to log in into your app. If you want users to log in into your app, then you need to enable authentication. Then if you want to be creating user collection in your application, automatically add a users collection to Firestore for logged in user. You need to also check this in. Then there'll be an initial page and all of that, right? So how do we go ahead and get the Firebase project ID? So now let's go to the Firebase. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning of Firebase. So now if you log in into Firebase, let's see, where should I use that? let's come to this and say Firebase. Okay, so firebase.com. Now this is how it's gonna show on you. If at all you're already logged into your Gmail on your browser. Now, guys, you can't really build this mobile application on a mobile phone. Like you can't really use all of these things that I'm saying on a mobile phone. You really need to have a system to work on it. So, if you don't have a system, just try and find a way and borrow it from a friend, and then work on it and use it to work, right? So you might not have everything that you need now, but start with what you have, okay? So, but you need a laptop to be able to do all of the things that we're talking about here. All right, so now we have this is like a Firebase, like the very first thing you should see. Then you can go ahead and click on go to console. You see here, right? So where the mouse is hovering on, so it says go to console, right? So you click on go to console, and then to bring you to where you have some of your projects here, right? So we have some projects here, right? So I'm not sure they will allow me to add another project, but we will try it out, right? So if I click here to add another project, it will, oh, cloud couldn't load your Google Cloud project if you're adding Firebase on an existing project. This. Okay, so all right, so I am going to have to like use another account, yeah, because I think it can only allow you to add a minimum number of projects per time. So I will stop sharing temporarily, and then I will try to switch to another account for like another Gmail account, so I can use it in assessing the Firebase, right? So let me use that opportunity to check out some of the concerns here. So Jason said his view is blurry. Okay, so it's not, so it's not the same for people who don't have. Okay, so Queen, it's better now. All right. So guys, just try to see how you can like, yeah, so Taye, I don't think the fault is from my end. You just need to go ahead and increase the resolution on YouTube, right? Please just try and increase the resolution on YouTube. I showed you guys that earlier on. I can show it again because I want everyone to be active. Yeah, so let me share my screen again one more time. And quickly, let's go to right, so this is YouTube, right? And this is where you're watching it from. It might look blurry, so what you just need to do is come to settings here and then click on quality, like come to the icon here, the gear icon, click on quality, remove it from auto, put it on 720, right? If you put it on 720, it's going to show you something a little bit better, right? So please. And I think I also think that it's going to be because of the StreamYard. I will try to see how I can subscribe to StreamYard, yeah, so they can give me like a better quality. All right, okay, so where was I was on Firebase. So right, so where is it? Okay, let me close this. Okay, so this is Firebase, right? I have changed my account, and where is it? I have changed my account, and what I'm going to do now is I'll click on go to console. And then here on console, I will have a few apps here. Okay, yeah. So here you can see I have just a few applications here. So you can allow you to add a couple of projects, right? So I will just click here to add another project. So I wouldn't have that issue I had before. Yeah, so it says, let's start with a name for your project. Please always read everything that you see. And then most times when you see this question with a circle around it, please just hover on it and it will give you an idea of what it is saying, right? So it says a Firebase project is a container for your Apple, Android, and web application. Now, that simply means that it is something that contains, it's more like a storage container, right? It's more like a hard drive for the files that you're using in your application, the pictures, the contents. For every single time a user creates an account, like Firebase is like going to hold it for you, right? It's hold those things. So apps in this project will share features like database, user management, and remote configuration. A Firebase project is a cloud project, right? So now this is where you have to know that all the files that you're saving, it's actually saved in the cloud. Of course, cloud here doesn't mean that we put it in the air or something. It just means that your applications are stored in remote servers, like different places in the world. In fact, I'm going to show you how to even know select where you want your data to be stored in. If you want it to be stored in the US and US East or whatever, so you see how to do all of that. Okay, so then when you create a new Firebase project in the Firebase console, you're actually creating a Google Cloud project behind the scenes. All right, so please just always try to read everything. Anything you see, just read it, right? Because it's gonna help you out. So Logino is our application name. So we can click after you've typed in your project name, just click on continue. And then you will see here Google Analytics. Let us make a rule of reading things, right? Sometimes when you watch tutorial, the person gets to rush through a whole lot of things. I won't be reading all the time, but if at all we have done this for the very first time, I will go ahead and then make us read. So Google Analytics for your Firebase project. So this is create a project step 2 of 3. That means we have just one more step to reach the end. So Google Analytics for your Firebase project. Google Analytics is a free and unlimited analytics solution that enables targeting, reporting, and more in Firebase Crashlytics, cloud messaging, in-app messaging, remote configuration, A/B testing, and cloud functions, right? So they are trying to advertise one of Google's products, which is called Google Analytics, right? So you basically put Google Analytics on your mobile application, your web applications, your websites to track the usage, right? The number of people that are using your application. It allows you to be able to even target people and all of that, right? So and then get some insights on how your application is being used. So now if you want Google Analytics to be added to your Firebase project, so you can leave these as enabled. And if you don't want, you can just uncheck it, right? So we don't want to use it right now. Later on, I will show you guys how to use this much later. So create the project, and then you just wait for a couple of minutes. Seconds, not minutes. So depending on your network and your system's processing speed. Yeah, so you just wait for a couple of seconds. This might take us, I think, roughly 15 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. So it will load up, and then we will be told that the project is ready. Okay, so here it is. Your new project is ready. So you click on continue and wait. It will load and bring you to your dashboard for your project called Logino, right? Logino. Okay, so here's how the basic stuff looks like. Now, why are we even here? You might be wondering, what brought us here? Now, what brought us here is the fact that we needed to get a Firebase project ID, all right, for our project. So that means we need to create a Firebase project. For us to get a Firebase project ID, we need to create a Firebase project, and that's how we got ourselves to this place, right? So I hope that is clear now. Now, the next thing we need to do is, don't forget, what we want to just build is a basic application that will allow us to log in and like sign up new users, log in and log out, possibly do some other basic things like maybe, okay, yeah, we'll just stop it at login and log out, right? Then later on we will improve on it. But I am really interested in showing you, like, deviating a little bit from here and talking a little bit more about FlutterFlow so that you can know how exciting this is. So guys, we're going to pause working on the Logino app, and then we will go back to talking about FlutterFlow just a little bit. Now, I remember that I didn't talk to you about the pricing, right, for FlutterFlow. Now, let me take you to $1, right? So we will do some comparison. Yeah, so here we'll go to pricing for $1. And then we'll come back to FlutterFlow. So before we come here, so if you click on features, it'll show you some basic things. So turn your ideas into products, right? Look at how beautiful this thing is. So you have start building for free, powerful features, animations. You can do like lots of animations here, push notifications, light and dark mode, chat and group chat. A lot of things here are already inbuilt, right? And then you can build collaboratively. This is the collaboration part of FlutterFlow. That means you can work on a project and have like your partner work on the project as well. So you guys work on the project simultaneously without having to interfere with each other's contribution and all of that. So it makes a whole lot of sense, guys, especially this collaboration part of FlutterFlow. Then there's something called version control. So as you build your application and then deploy it, you have like different versions of the application, right? You can see the previous versions. You can work with teams. You can share project links. Okay, so you can leave feedback via comments. export clean code. We've talked about that. Leverage integrations to build robust applications. So they have lots of integration here. We just started using one of the integration, which is Firebase. There's Google Maps. So if at all you want to build like the next Uber, let's say you are in Kenya, or you're in Rwanda, you are in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Egypt, or Ghana, any other place that you are in Africa, right, or in the world, right? So you want to build maybe the next Uber, the next Bolt. Okay, so you can use this to build it, because it allows you to integrate Google Maps on your application. So there's Code Magic, so you can deploy your apps with the click of a button. There's Stripe for payment, and then there's Revenue Cat. There's Algolia, there's GitHub for the guys that are developers, right? So you can actually get to integrate GitHub in your application. There's Braintree, there's OpenAI. Now, I'm very sure almost everyone should know about OpenAI now. This is ChatGPT, right? So you can actually get to, use the power of AI to generate code with Codex, right? So that's it. So core platform features, drag and drop builder. So you're basically going to be using drag and drop to build your stuff. They have template screens, 120 plus professionally designed screen templates. There are team collaboration, 140 plus pre-built components, and run and test your application. Firebase Content Manager, commenting in projects, Firebase integration, custom widgets. A lot of things here, guys, like so many things. Okay, so that's for the features. Then for the pricing, before I talk about the pricing, let's talk about the docs. So if at all you have issues and there's a particular thing you want to just know about Flutter, now you apart from going through this tutorial and then of course checking our videos on YouTube, right, you can also come here to read FlutterFlow's documentation, and it is very good and comprehensive because they have videos and they have some things that are not necessarily videos. Let's go to UI. Let me show you something. So let's see. This is just a picture. There are some of their there's some tutorials here that are like animated videos, but you don't like play, you just watch it, and then it's a guide you on basic stuff. So this is where you can come to read about different things about FlutterFlow, and then get FlutterFlow to do see, let's say you have issues, all right, so you can come here to figure out, read this is the manual for FlutterFlow, right? If at all you bought a new fridge today, and of course I know you know that if you open the fridge and then turn it on and then adjust the temperature scenario, right, then you can just put stuff inside the fridge and it just start getting cold. But there are other things about your refrigeration device that you should know, and it's always inside the manual, like how to increase its lifespan and all of that. So the same thing with FlutterFlow, right? It has a document, it has a manual. So always learn to read documents for platforms. Okay, so I'll close this tab. And then we're back here. Let's talk about the pricing now. After we talked about the pricing, we will go back to, what is it called? We'll go back to our working on our login application. Now look at this. This is the beautiful thing. All right, so find a plan that works for you. It says here it's free, right? So this is a free plan. So start building and testing your application today. So under the free plan, you have core platform features. You have access to pre-built templates. You have access to use Firebase integration. So cool. This is one of the most amazing things about the platform. Allowing you to use Firebase integration. It's like so cool. It's like giving you access to free hosting, kind of, right? So, and then you have, you can, use two API endpoints in your application. Then there are other features like APK download. You can't have this under the free version. So you can build your app and then download it at the same time. So code download, you can't also download under the free. GitHub integration, a lot of things. But now in the standard part, right? So you see here, standard is $30 per month. Now, the reason why I opened the download is I wanted you to see the difference, right? So the code is the starter pack, right? So in Adalo, now I'm not discouraging you from using Adalo in any way. Adalo has its own benefits. You can do stuff like really faster with Adalo, right? Yeah, and it's not really complex. So it's cool, right? Really good. And I'm not also doing an advertisement for any of the platforms. I'm just showing you the pros and cons and the benefits inside it. So so here you can publish one application, 1,000 monthly app actions, one app editor, and it's $45 per month. but here on Flutter it says $30. That's you saving. If you use FlutterFlow, that's you saving $15, right? And then you have a lot of beautiful things here. Now, Adalo doesn't allow you to download the yes, you can actually get the APK version of the application. You can publish it on App Store and Play Store and all of that, right? So, but you don't have Firebase integration. The storage is inside Adalo, right? So, that's one of the things. Now, there's something really cool about it. Let's go with this annual billing. So now, if you turn on with annual billing, you now have that it is now $22 per month. That's really affordable, really, for because if assuming that you're a startup founder and then you have a product, right? So this is just going to be 222 times 12. I don't know how much that is. So that's gonna be 220 plus 44, $264, right? So yeah, so $264 in a year. That's fine, really. I think so. All right. So you can pay for this. Now, then we also have the pro part, right, where you have like access to a lot of things, and then the best of it all is the teams. Now look at this. The most expensive part of FlutterFlow is just $5 higher than the next plan of Adalo, right? So I really recommend you starting out with FlutterFlow. Then let's look at just one more thing, guys. So I'm gonna turn off my VPN because I'm using a VPN. I'm gonna turn it off, and then we will reload this. I want to show you something. Okay, so I want to show you that there's going to be a price slash for different locations, right? I just hope this loads. Come on. Okay, so depending on your location, right, you can actually get a price slash. It doesn't want to load. Why is it like this? Okay, I think I might have to just bring back my VPN, really. And let's just change location. Let me go to somewhere else. Let me try another location. Let's say France. I don't know about France, UK. Okay, so let's say UK. Let me see if that's gonna work out for what I want. I just want us to have a price slash. There's something they call regional price slash, right? So that means if at all you are in a particular region, there's gonna be a price slash, a really fair price slash for your project, right? It doesn't show. I'm gonna just try it until it works, right? So I really want you guys to see it. So I tried this. Let's try France. Okay, so I'm gonna load it again. It's still showing the same thing. It's supposed to be without VPN. Like the last time I tried it, it was without VPN and it worked. I don't know what's going on now. Okay, cool. It's working now. So you guys can see it, right? So depending on this is what they say, regional discounts. So if I told you're in Nigeria, I am very sure that you're gonna have this discount. So now it simply means that you can get a discount price of $15, right? So if you're in Nigeria or any other African country, right? So I think people in the UK, US, right? So they get to pay the standard pricing. I don't know why they do it like that, but it's really fair. Well, some countries in Africa are like really low income, so I think that's the reason why they're doing that, right? So yeah, so this is it. And then what else, right? So yeah, $15. Let's try the yearly. So you can see here it says yearly. I have $11, guys. $11, and then here is $25 for the payments part. So imagine multiplying this by 10. That's 250 plus 50, so that's $300 in a year, and you have access to all of these features, guys. This is really cool. So that's it. This is just a little basic hack. I just wanted it's not a hack, it's just a strategy, right? So I'm currently in a different region. I'm not in Africa right now, so but I'm in Russia, right? So it allows like some sort of discount right now. So okay, so let's get out of here and look at something else, right? Okay, we're done with this. I can just simply close this, then we are back in our application. Okay, guys, so for us to continue building this, we need a Firebase project ID. And for us to have that, we are going to need to use our Firebase. I believe you can remember how we got here. Just to recap, I will say Firebase. Guys, let me use my VPN. Okay. All right. So here it is. So this Firebase, then we can go to Google Console. And then when you come to Google Console, you can go ahead and click to create your project. So you click here to create your project. Then after creating your project and setting up everything, you will have this same display. So this is fresh start. And then the next thing we need to do now, we need to get this Firebase project. Let me close this as well. Okay, so we need to get the Firebase project ID here. So let's get that here. So you click the icon here, just beside project overview, you click on it, and then click on project settings. So you click on project settings, wait for a while. If at all your network is not really that good, so some things might load a bit slow. So you click this, you copy it, right? So project ID. And then don't forget, guys, I like the reading things, right? So hover on this question mark thing, and then you will see what it is. Just be reading stuff, right? So a user assigned unique identifier for your Firebase project. This identifier may appear in URLs or names for some Firebase resources, but it should generally be treated as a convenience alias to reference your project, right? So that's the essence for this project ID, and you just copy it, copy all of it, and then bring it to FlutterFlow, and then paste it here. After you finish pasting it, click on connect. Now there's going to be an error, right? There's an error here, guys. So if you can see here, it says FlutterFlow does not have access to this Firebase account. Please add Firebase at flutterflow.io as an editor to this project. Now it's very important for you to give access to FlutterFlow to edit your Firebase project. So that's basically it. So if you try to click on this, it'll bring up that error, and then you need to fix it. How do you fix that? So you need to come here back to Firebase and then go to users and permissions, right? So you click on users and permissions, and then after you've done that, you just need to go ahead and click on add member, and then add the, what is it called? It said Firebase. So this is what it said you need to add. Firebase add FlutterFlow .io. Okay. And then it said you need to add it as an editor. So you change here, so you come to rows, then you click on it, and then click on editor, and then click on done. Right after you're done with that, you click on add member. Okay, so it now says that it has added that particular member to your Firebase project, right? So now everything is good, like everything is really good. So you can come back to your Firebase projects. Where is it? So sorry, your FlutterFlow project. All right, so just a little bit announcement here. I just want you to pay attention, right? If you can practice and pay attention simultaneously, that's fine, but there will be a time for that. I just want you to have a first impression. That's why I'll keep repeating what I'm doing from time to time, just so that the impression on your brain can be much more meaningful, right? So just pay attention. I want you to have a first impression. We will have something called labs, right? So there are 4 ways you're going to learn from this program. The very first way is through the live tutorial, where you get your first impressions, right? You know that thing they always say, first impression matters a lot. Yes, so I need you to have these first impressions. We will be having first impressions a lot. Now, all of our live tutorials will be for first impression's sake. So you will have your first impressions, and then we will have labs, right? So later today as well, for some persons, for everyone actually, we will have the labs again, right? So the labs will not be on YouTube. The labs will be on Google Meet, right? So that you can easily share your screen with me, and then I can assist you with the projects, right? Like assist you in doing stuff. Like let's say you get hooked somewhere, right? So, but it is required that you go through the tutorial, the introduction, how to create a login, logout. I had already created that video. So for every single live tutorial that we are gonna have, I will also create a corresponding previous tutorial and just put it there. So you can always watch that first. you should only come to the labs to ask questions when you're hooked, right? And you need like a direct support, right? And sometimes it's not going to be me that will help in the labs, right? So we also have the third part, how you learn. The third part is going to be peer to peer, right? Because guys, I'm a student, right? Yeah, so I can get like super busy too. I'm a master student, so I get like really busy, but I'm gonna give so much of attention to this. But one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to look at some students here in the trading will be able to do certain things that I can do as well as they learn. Some people learn faster than others, right? So we're going to do peer to peer as well. That means I will put up a poll sometimes on the group. Maybe at the end of today, I'm going to put up a poll and say, if you know you understand what happened in the class today, and then you've gone through the training tutorial and you can guide other people, right? Please just indicate here. Then I will go ahead and then hand over the lab session to that person. I will just officiate and help where I can, right? So that's the idea. We will do a lot of peer to peer, because that's one of the ways that I learn personally, right? I learn fast, yeah, but I also learn really faster if at all it's a peer-to-peer scenario. Okay, so that's it. So now that we have done what is it called, we've copied our project Firebase project ID, and then we have also added it as an editor here, right? So the next thing that we're supposed to do is come back here and click on connect. So when we click on connect this time around, it tells us success. All right, so just wait for a bit. Some things will change here. Okay, not exactly, it just tells us success. Hold on, then click on this, and then click on this. It says start building. No, exactly, I was waiting for other things to show. So you're supposed to generate auto generate configuration files before you start building, and of course you have to add your initial and your logged in page. I will explain what that means. So but before then, let's just go ahead and then click on auto generate config. So after you've added your Firebase project ID, you go and then click on connect. And if you have that error, you have to go back and add Firebase at FlutterFlow.io as your editor on Firebase, right? Then you go ahead and enable these buttons here: enable authentication, enable create user collection, and then please click on auto generate configuration before you start building. So you click on auto generate config files. Don't touch any other thing that is here. You can read what is happening here too. So before we generate your config files, make sure you have chosen the proper package name and project name for your app. So we've already done that. You can leave it like that, basic stuff. So generate files. So okay, so it's going to take under a minute for it to generate the config files. When it is done, this is more like the configuration files for everything, authentication, a lot of things. So it just does a lot of building from the background, right? So more like stuff that you would have done like manually trying to configure it, it does it for you automatically, right? So just wait until it's done, and then it will take you back to the previous screen, and yeah, it tells you Firebase setup complete, everything is fine now. So there is Firebase check, and then FlutterFlow check. So they have been connected. So now you need to go ahead and then click your entry page. So you can click here to set your entry page. Your entry page is the page that your users see before they sign into your application. So now you can create blank and build it by yourself, or you can choose from the many templates that we have here. So I want us to choose from the templates that we have here. And so you click on, this was for all the templates. So just come to auth here. This stands for authentication. There is content, there's list, there's settings, there's e-commerce, right? So come for authentication, because the very first page our user is going to see is going to be our sign in and sign up screen, right? So we will go ahead and then come down here, and then we will see here some different templates. So you can scroll down, see a lot of templates, right? So these are all the templates. So there's a forgot password template, there's create accounts, there's login, there's a lot of templates here, right? So even there's confirm code if at all you want to set up a confirmation for phone number or something, an email. Yeah, exactly. So there are a lot of things here that you can use, and for real, you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel, right? So you can just use the teams that you have here. except you're a UI UX designer, that's a product designer, then you just want your to stylishly work on your stuff, right? So you can build your stuff and then from scratch. I will show you guys later in the next, I think in next class, yeah, how to build it by yourself and other things. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on use my team. This is the one I want to use. If you observe, this is the one I've been using for a while. So just click here, use my team. All right, so you click here, it'll ask you page name. Please give your page a name. All right, so always remember to read. All right, so let's call this page login. You can use small letters. Okay, so I prefer to use login. So you can say login screen or login page, anything. But I'm okay. I prefer it to be just like login and simple. So click on create page. So now the entry page is set. So you can hover on here and you see what that entry page means. This is a page that will load if a user is not logged in. Use this for login and sign up or onboarding flows. So every single time you see a question mark or I inside the circle, it's for information. So always try to read it, right? So always read it. And then for logged in page, so if you come here, you see this is the page that will load and on app starts if a user is already logged in, right? It's also where we automatically navigate to on a successful sign-in. Yeah, so that's the idea. So you click here to click on set, and then it's gonna bring you here. So what are we gonna use? Let's go to what do we use? Let's go to content or settings. Let's go to settings, right? So on settings, we will see a basic screen. Yeah, if you can observe, I use this for the attendance application, right? I told you guys I built it in a couple of hours, right? So this is it. So use my theme. So I will use this. There are other things that you can use here. So I will just use this one. Okay, so use my theme, and then I will say this is gonna be, I can call this home, right? Yeah, I can call it home because this is like where you see after you've signed in. So yeah, home is a cool name for it. So home. And then after you're done, everything is good, right? So you click on start building. All right, so now we have it. Now that you have gotten to this point, you've gotten a good distance, right? So what we need to do now is we just need to do a couple of tweaks. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys the very first thing that I look out for. So the very first thing I look out for is this errors, right? So you come here to anything you see red, it's an error, right? So just come here, click on it, and then you will have this is like the issues here. So it says 7 issues in total, and then we have warnings, then we have errors. So the errors here is it says auth setup when using Facebook login. You must provide the Facebook app name and app ID in the Facebook section of the auth tab. Then these are all authentication errors as a result of this Facebook login, this extra login here. This is for Google login, this is for Apple login, Facebook login, then this is login with phone number, right? So, and then there's also an error as a result of the phone number. Phone number field must be provided when using phone sign-in and phone SMS, a lot of things. So what I will just do is to eliminate most of these errors. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of the things that are here. Now, before I delete this, I know you're going to be asking a question, how do I know how to delete it? Now, before we come here to delete those stuffs, let's go to something called the widget tree. So if you come here on the left-hand side where the arrow, the cursor is currently being pointed at, so it's called the widget tree. So one of the places that you're going to go to a lot here is the widget tree. You're going to come to the storyboard. Storyboard is like the screens that your application is connected to. This is the login screen, and then it takes them here. So this is like the storyboard. I like what FlutterFlow does here. It allows you to see all your screens and connections and everything, right? So this is the storyboard for you. Okay, so you can just roll in the wheel on your mouse to adjust it if you have a mouse, right? Then you can just go ahead and use your 2 fingers to adjust it on your mouse pad, right? On your laptop, right? So you can just pull this thing and arrange it. Okay, so that's it. So you'll be going to the widget tree a lot. So this is the widget tree. And then on the widget tree is where you see the different pages that you have or screens, right? So it calls it pages or components. So you can just, this is the page, one page, login page. Then there's another one here, which is the home page, right? So this is it. Okay, so now for every single time that you click on a particular page, you will see that there's a widget tree there's a widget tree here. Now, if you hover on it, you're going to see like these are the different widgets. So basically a widget is just a component. Like this entire setup is made up of like lots of components. So it's either you call it a component or a widget. So this can also be called component tree, right? So components, right? So this big part is called like the general stuff. This is more like the big part of it, the column, right? So this is it. You have your login. Everything that is inside this stuff is inside the very big one. I will show you how to build these step by step, but not in this tutorial. I think that should be tomorrow. Yeah. So then after this big one is the next one that we have is called containers. So this platform makes use of the same syntax that is used in Flutter. That's the platform that allows you to like write codes and build your stuff. So it calls the components, the widgets, some widget containers where you put everything inside. So just like the name, it's called container. You put some things inside the container and you host those things, right? So even this big login part is also like a container, a different kind of container. Then inside the container, you can have other containers, right? So like now we have a logo container inside a bigger container. Then so you can like stack things inside. Then we have something called rows, we have columns, and a lot of things, right? So we have icons and all of it. So you just need to bring your cursor and hover around it. So like this now, I hovered around this, I see social login role. So this is social login role. If I click on this, it's just the icon alone. I click on this, it's the container for the Google thing, right? So then there's another container, but I want to select everything here on this row. So I'll look for the row, and then I'll click on the row. It will show me here that I've clicked on the social login row. That was the name that was given to it, right? It's not like all of the rows are always called social login rows. So you can actually rename your row, your components here. So here is where you can click to rename it, right? So what I just want to do here is I actually just want to delete it. So I'll click on it, then I will click on delete, and then that's gone. If you observe, my errors has dropped to 5. It's no longer 6, it's now 5. Now look at this other one. I will just take it off, use social account. So I'll take this off so we don't need it. Then I'll delete this row. Then forgot password, we won't use it now, so I'll take it off as well. And then for the sign up, I'll go to the sign up screen. Then I'll take off the social login again. I'll take it off. Then click on this and delete it. Then delete the row as well. So we now have only 2 errors, if you can see. So we have just 2 errors now. So let's click on it to know what the errors is. The error says widget configuration, max lines must be 1 for password fields, and max line must be 1 for password fields. So the thing is this, right? For the sign-in part and the sign-in part and the sign-up part, we have password, and we have like an extra configuration for the password field. This is a text field. It's called a text field because you can type text inside it. And there's a lot of configuration already here. So if you click on this now, you see the description or extra features, things that you can, configure, right? Configure for this particular component. All the components have these particular, space where you can actually adjust a lot of things, the color, the background, a lot of things, the width, and then there's padding here. So like this thing that you see here, this particular widget field, if you observe, it has a 12 space above it. It has more like pixels, right? So 12 pixels above it. It has 20 pixels on the right. So that means from here to here, it has 12 pixels. So basically not from here to, basically from here to the column here. Then it has it also has from here to here as well. It has an infinite space on there, right? So what we just need to do to take off this error is we just need to go ahead and come down here to max lines and put the number 1. Just put a number that 1. So you see it has dropped my error here. Now the reason is because we have now given it a minimum number of max lines, right? So then we come to sign up and then we do the same thing. So we click on the password part, click on the password here, and then click on max lines and then click on 1, and then that's it. So the errors are gone. Without the errors being gone, you wouldn't be able to finish up with the, what is it called? You won't be able to finish up with like publish the application. Like after now, we will publish the application. I will be able to send a link to you so you can log into the application. Well, I wouldn't want to do that. It will take off so much of server space. Yeah, but I will just show you how I will test everything so you can see it. Okay, so the next thing is we can remove this logo here, the Flutter logo. I'll tap on it and then I'll look at the location that it is here on the widget tree. It is here. So I'll just delete it. Just click on delete button. Then this row here right now, the logo container row, it's just a row. So I can click here. Now for you to add an extra widget, like bring in a widget. So you click on the box here that has like this thing that I'm hovering on. So you click on it and then it tells you here, search for widgets. So these are different widgets that are available. So the widgets are the same thing as components. So I want to add a text there. So I'll just click on text. And then of course the original text is hello world. Yeah, so then here, the color of the text can be configured on the right-hand side here. So I want to change it from hello world to login, right? So that's the name of our application. So if you see here, this is the space where you get to change the whole thing. You have something here that says set from variable. I will explain that later. So then for us to change the size of the text, so you can come here to font size and just here and then change it to, I think I'd like it to be 30. Then you can change the font weight and make it 60. All right, so then the next thing that we can do here is we can go ahead and then change the primary color. So you can click on the primary text here, you click on it and then you click on the color and then that's it. So we have the name here. Everything is fine. So I'm just going to check out if I thought we're fine. But can you redeploy? Okay, so I'm going to try to answer all the questions later, but let's just focus on this. Where was I? Okay, so this is it. I'll try to, I can see all the questions now as you drop it, but just drop your questions, right? After the training, I will look at all the questions and then I'll answer them. We will soon wrap up the training for today, very soon. Yeah, by very soon, I think in the next 20 minutes. Okay. All right. So what we need to do right now is we've put the name here, right? And the next thing we're going to do is we've set this up. Okay. So we will go ahead and do just one more thing. And that one more thing is we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and set up our home. So you click on the home page and then we have a picture here. I might not create the feature for this. I just wanted us to work on functionality. So I will look for the containers here and then delete it, right? So I'm deleting the container, delete the row. In fact, I'll just look for the row and delete it, right? So basically what am I doing? I'm just using my cursor and then I hover on this thing, then I'll see the row, because if I delete the row, I will delete the container as well, because the container is inside the row. Even the terms of service is inside the row that is inside the container that is inside the row button. All right, don't worry, we are going to look at all of this when we are trying to create create our own design, like from scratch. Okay, so I'll click on the row here, take it off, then click on this and take it off as well. Okay, so all right, so we have the username. I'm gonna take off the username because we wouldn't get that. I'll leave the email address because that's there. I'm gonna take off the picture because we wouldn't put that now. All right, so what is this? Control Z. If you make mistakes, you can just use Control Z to take things off, right? So all right, so now I have it like this. I just wanted us to create an application that can allow you to log in and log out, right? So that's just it. So and when you log in, you see your email displayed here, and then you can log out by clicking the button. Okay, so now we have done this. Let's go back to Firebase and do some other settings. So guys, now Firebase is where we go ahead and then store like different things that has to do with our application, right? So we need to go ahead and set up a database, right? Yeah, we've done some basic stuff, right? So where do we store our information? How do we even let users to key in things? So now that's the next thing we're going to do. So you click on build and then you go to authentication, right? So you go to authentication and click on it. When you click on authentication, this is where you want to allow FlutterFlow to authenticate apps from Firebase, right? So you see what it says here: authenticate and manage users from a variety of providers without server-side code. All right, really cool. If at all you're using other cloud or hosting services that doesn't have a direct language like this, without you having to write codes, let's say DigitalOcean and all of that, you will know how complex it is. So, but for here, it's actually made really simple. So get started with Firebase authentication by adding your first sign-in method. How do you want your users to sign in? There are a lot of things here. There's phone number, anonymous, Microsoft, Twitter, GitHub, a lot of things, Apple sign in. So we will just use email and password. So I clicked on email and password, and then I will enable email and password. So it says allow users to sign up using their email address and password. Our SDK also provides email address verification, password recovery, and email address change primitives, right? So that means they can actually allow you to recover your passwords. So, so that's it. Then we can go ahead and click on save. After you've done this, you have this situation right now. So there are a couple of things that we're supposed to do, but I will allow us to hit the error first, and then we fix it. I prefer like that instead of not allowing you to experience the error. So the next thing I need to do right now, I will come to build. Hold on. I will come to build, and then okay, I don't need to create a fire. Okay, I need to come back here and create a Firestore database. So I will just click on here for Firestore database. Then I'll get started again with that. Okay, so we just turned on authentication. All right, we need to still now create a cloud Firestore for the application. Like this is where you store a lot of things, including the user data. So you have to, after you've turned on the authentication and choose your authentication means, you need to come to build and click on authentication and create that database. Now, this is the part that I said that that this is done in the cloud. So it tells you to choose your location and all of that. There's a lot of things to read here, but we won't read everything here. So it says they start in production mode, start in test mode. So I want us to start in test mode, not production mode yet. So then later on, you can always switch it. So it says here the default security rules for the test mode allows anyone with your database reference to view, edit, and delete all data in this for the next 30 days. Now, that doesn't include password details. All right, it doesn't at all. Every single thing is hashed. Yeah, so Firebase gets to, by hash I mean encrypted. Yeah, so Firebase does automatic password. Anything that has to do with password, everything is stored. We're gonna see it right here. So start stored and hashed. All right, so we can click on next. It says your location setting is where your Cloud Firestore data will be stored. So this is where you choose where you want your stubs to be stored. So we have a Cloud Firestore location, so you can store it in the United States, Europe. This is like where the server centers are across the world. Like, so where do you want your stuff to be stored? So I would just recommend that you use the default location, right? So I'll just click on enable. And after that, we will go ahead and then have a couple of things still running. So it's setting up security rules. When it is done, it will take me to my Cloud Firestore platform. So this is it, Cloud Firestore. Everything is empty. It doesn't look so nice, but very soon we will see things working out very fine. All right. So it might begin to look complicated to you, but guys, don't forget what I said. Learn to do hard things. Now, after learning this and jumping these stages, you will be very excited and happy with yourself that you were able to pay attention and then do this. It's really beautiful. It's not really, it's just like trying to set up an account somewhere, right? So it's basic. You're not writing code, just clicking things here and there and turning things on. All right. So we're very close to finishing this, right? So we have, we have 30 minutes more, but we might not spend up to that. So let me try to see how I can hasten up so we can finish up quick. All right. So what I want us to do now is I want us to go ahead and have okay, so we've done this, so we're fine, right? So we come here to the login application, we go back to login. Now that we have done this, right, let me show you something. So if you come here to another place that you'll be coming frequently, I told you the first one is a widget tree. The next one is just the storyboard. This is a new feature. It just came up recently, right? So some tutorials, you might not even see this thing. Yeah, FlutterFlow is updating themselves like frequently. So the Firestore, this is the database, right? So you click on here, and then you will see the schema. The schema is like the structure of your data, right? So here it says the field name is email. This is something that was done automatically when you turned on authentication. All right, when you were like trying to create a project here on FlutterFlow. So it just created all of this. So email is a string. So data type basically is how do you want your information to be stored in a database? Is it as a string, which is mixture of numbers and letters? Is it an image path? All right, like a URL? Is it a timestamp? So this is what we use when you're trying to create time. All right. And then sorry. And then you have a phone number. Phone number is it's supposed to be well, I think the reason why it is a string here is because you can put in brackets, right? So, but normally it's supposed to be just be an integer, right? Yeah. So, what we need to do right now is we've done that, and then we don't need to create any extra thing. Normally, when you create stuffs on Firestore, you have to also create an equivalent of that on FlutterFlow, but we don't need to do that. We're going to still have everything working. So, but just to see that everything is working optimally, you will come to this settings icon here inside Firestore, and then you click here to validate. So now it says Firebase schema validation. We will validate if the schema you define matches in the data in the database, right? So this is where we try to validate whether the things that we have here in FlutterFlow matches the things that we have on Firebase, right? So it's just basic stuff. So it tells me successful, and I'm good with that. So let's come back here. We're almost at the end now. So then what else? We will go ahead and now look at this. I'm going to now show you some basic stuff. If I thought you're worried about how do I know how this thing looks like when I am using it, so you can click on the icon here that says preview app. It doesn't take long to show you, so you can just click on it. It's a preview the particular design that you were on as at the time. So this is it. You see the preview, so you can click here and you see the different animations. You see how it looks like. It's really cool. So if you come here, you can even type stuff like this. You know, if I type now, it's hiding what I was typing. If I click on this, it's now shows. So these are all done automatically for you. You can't really like use this here. This is not the app working. This is just you testing in the application, right? Just the app is not working yet. It's currently on just a preview mode. It's not live. It's not working, right? So it's just like you running a design on Figma or something, right? So we can close this, right? And then we can come back here. Now, another thing I want to show you is, I think we're almost done, really. We're done. We just need to go ahead and do a couple of other things. Let's come here to, for you to test your application, you have to tap on here, this icon here. So there are two ways you can run your application. We are done with the application actually. So for you to test your application, what you just need to do is you need to click on the icon here, and then you see run. So you say use run mode to share links, or you can click here, like this particular thunder icon here. This is for the debug mode. Now, this always takes a lot of time before it finally shows up. But now the reason why most people use debug mode is because as you're building, you can always redeploy the updates. Like, let me show you what I mean. So if I click on this icon down, it's going to bring me here, right? This is going to take a lot of time to load. I don't really use this. I don't use this a lot. So it will tell you we're setting up a testing session for your application. This should take 2 to 3 minutes. It's not going to take 2 to 3 minutes. It's going to take like way longer. So let's just wait for a while until it shows us something else. I won't have to wait for that, but I will show you some other way you can do it to some persons who had gone through the tutorial on how to build a marketplace app, login, logout application. The previous tutorial that I had posted on the channel, right? They reached out to me to tell me that, oh, they have issues trying to test the application, right? So this is a solution to it. I really hope that those guys are here in the lessons too, and for everyone's information as well. So you can click on here, and then instead of using the thunder icon here, just use run. So now run the app in the browser. This will let this will let you test a live version of the app in the browser. It takes 2 to 4 minutes at a time. Yeah, it takes some time, but this is more better than you using the, if you can see it here, it says debug, like it tells you debug, because it allows you to like run a reload. Like for instance, right, if you go ahead and then do some corrections here, this particular one that I'm running right now, you won't be able to see the updates immediately. But if at all it is with the other one, that's this debug mode, the thunder icon part, you will be able to see it, but it takes a lot of time. My system is 16 gig RAM, yeah, Core i7, but it still takes a lot of time to actually show it. So I think this is one of the low features of their platform, but I think they are definitely going to work on this to increase the speed. So, but without having to wait for that, just use the run mode, and we will just wait for a couple of, this one is going to take some minutes, so we're going to look at like maybe 2 minutes, and when it's ready, it will pop up something here for us to know that, oh, our application is ready. So while you run these on the run mode, just forget about it, leave it there, and then go work on something else. So here I want to go ahead and then show you a couple of other things like settings inside the FlutterFlow application, right? So you have here a lot of things, including the dark mode theme. So this is it, the dark mode theme. So you can turn it on or turn it off. And then what else? So you have the nav bar and app bar, right? So this is the different things they can have. So different types of app bar, right? So I'm sure you know what an app bar is. App bar is like the part that shows you at the top. Then we have the nav bar below, right? So this is it. You can have some things like this, you can have it like this, you can have it like this, anyone you want, right? So we'll leave it at what it was before, and then you can have like some basic stuffs on this stuff, right? So let me push this away. Okay, so now that we have this, then we have app details, right? So if at all you've forgotten what your initial page, maybe you've built a lot of pages and screens, so you've forgotten what your initial page was, so you can come to app details, and then you see the entry page, right? So you can click it to change it. You can click to change your login page as well. Then you can change your project's name at any time you want. Then what else? You can do some basic stuffs here. Enable deep linking. Pages require authentication by default. So if your pages will require authentication by default, you need to like check all of those things here. All right, so I'm still waiting for these to load up. When it finishes, it's gonna show here. It's actually gonna take 4 minutes. So that's like that one tells the truth. Every other thing doesn't. So especially the other testing mode. So then the next thing I wanted to talk about is, we've talked about Firebase. So this Firebase integration, we did it at the beginning. So if I thought you started without doing it, maybe you skipped it, you can always come here and do your integrations. Then there's languages. It allows you to, you can set your primary languages, and then they display languages for this platform and your applications as well. So then they have platforms here. So select which platform to include in your generated project. Do you want Android and iOS? Do you want web? Do you want Mac OS, Windows, Linux? You see, everything is really available here. Then permissions. So you have lots of things that you would like to turn on as permissions. And then what else? Collaboration. This is one of the coolest part of it. So you can actually get to collaborate with other people. You can click here to invite someone, put the email, and then the person will be here. The person can also work on the project with you. And this is like the part that I really love the most, right? So then what else? We have collaboration, Firebase languages, platforms, permissions, authentication, right? So this is the authentication part of it. So we have to enable it so it can do authentication with Firebase. And then we also have push notifications. You can enable the push notifications, allow users to receive push notification inside of your app. Setup is easy and only requires a few steps to get started. So there are docs here you can read to know how to set up. I will also show you guys here in the coming tutorial. And then the mobile deployment. So if you want to, okay, so it says run mode finished. So our application is ready to use. So we can click on it, or we can just come back here and then we will see it. So that's what I meant, when you're done, just when you're done deploying, just leave it there and then come back. It takes roughly 4 minutes. Like it takes roughly 4 minutes. And but I will show you a hack around it, like what I used recently, that I used recently, right? So let me show you guys. So where is it? So there's a hack I use that makes things run for me a little bit faster. It could take like a minute, right, or roughly 2 minutes instead of the 4 minutes. So I will show you guys that, but yeah, I'll still show you maybe let's say today, right? Okay, so log in, and then so you can go ahead and try to sign up. Let's try to sign up with a wrong email. So let's say david@gmail.com. I try to put a password and then sign in. It has a lot of it says that there's no user record corresponding to this identifier. That means nobody here. So you can style your pop-ups later, right? So there's no user with that. So I can click here to sign up, and I can go ahead and then sign up with Nocode Africa HQ HQ@gmail.com, and then I need to put password. All right, so this password, you can, of course, I'm just using 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can click on the symbol here to show you and all of that. So then I can create an account. Now I'll create an account. When I create an account, it will automatically also sign me in at the same time. So of course, that's how it works. So it shows here email address and then log out. So none of this is working. The logout is not working. Yeah. So the email address is supposed to show my email address. But the thing is this, I did not configure it to show me the email address, right? I did not add this part. So we will do that, and then we'll just go ahead and then deploy it quickly, then summarize the lesson, right? So let's come back here, come to home, and then click on this. So how do we get to like make sure that this displays the email address of the logged in user? So I will click on the column, like the entire thing. I want to just capture some data. So like query the database, query Firebase, right? So I'll just click on here. Then if you can see here, the structure shows here on the widget tree. I'll click on there. Then I'll come here to backend query. I'll click on backend query. I'll add a backend query. And then query type, I have to select my query type. I want to query a collection. And then build Firebase query. You can read up, you can hover on it and check out what is happening there. Okay, it's not showing me anything there. Okay, so click the Firestore tab on the left-hand menu to create your Firebase and all of that. So I'll click on here, click on user. So the collection that I want to query is the user collection. It's already there. It's created automatically when I turned on authentication. Sometimes I have to create the collection myself. All right. So now the query type, hover here as well. Oh, it's not showing me anything. Okay, whether this query should return a single user, a list of user documents, or the number of users. So if you wanted to return a list of documents or a single document or a number, right? So you can choose any. I wanted to just return a single document, right? Because I just want to get the email address of this login user. So I will just click on a single document. Then it said hide widget if no match, no. Then after I've done that, so I need to go ahead and add a filter. So I have done this, right? Yeah, since we don't have a lot of time to keep running the run mode, so I will just do everything at once now, so we can just see it work once and for all. So we will come here and then click on filters. So this is what we want to use to do our filter. So filter, I'll click on this again, right? So collection field name. So you tap on it. What field do you want to use and filter? That's what this means. So I say I want to use email to filter my results, right? The relation is what? Is it equal to? Yes, I want it to filter with the email and check if the email, all right, in the database is equal to the email from a variable. Like the variable noun is going to be no, if at all we said specific value, we can just write the value here. No, we don't want to do that. We want it to be variable. We want it from the database. So value source is from variable, and then on sets, we click on this to set the variable. What kind of variable? Where do we want to get it from? So we have to go to authenticated user and then say email. So technically what this simply means is use the email in the database to find me this user, and then that email, check if the email in the database matches the email of the logged in user, right? So email equal to the email here. So it means email in the database matches the logged in user email. If so, please make it available such that I can display here in this screen. So I can just click on confirm. Then I'll now come to the element itself, right? I'll come to this element itself, and then I will say, I'll click on it. Then you'll see here it says set from variable. This was just the normal text. So I'll click on set from variable, and then I'm setting this variable from where? User document, and I will say email, right? So that's it. So it's to give me the email here. And then I can, for this logout button, all I just need to do is add an action to it. If I told you were in a Dalo class, you know that every single button or element can actually have an action. So here, this is a button, we can give it an action. So if you come here, you will see actions. So you click on the actions, click to add an action. Then you see different things here. It says on tab, on double tap, on long press. So we just want to on tab, right? When we on tab, what do we want to do? We want to be able to navigate to? No, we want to be able to go to Firebase Authentication and then log out, right? So that's it. So it's closed like that. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the training. I would just go ahead and run it and then talk briefly, and then we end the class. Now, those updates that I just did right now, it won't show except I run it all over again, which I am running right now. It won't allow, nothing shows here, right? So that's just the weird thing about FlutterFlow. But don't worry, I'm sure they are working on it to make sure that the platform is more safe, right? So I will just wait for these to load, and then from there we can go ahead and check it out. So, and then we try to log in again, and that's it. So while that is loading, I will just try to finish up what I was talking about here. So this is for mobile app deployment. After you're done building your application, right? So you can deploy your mobile app. So it says you deploy your FlutterFlow project to the App Store and Play Store with CodeMagic. So CodeMagic allows you to, do one-click deployment of your FlutterFlow project into App Store and Play Store. Really, really cool. Like just one click. It says here, easy, one click. I know it's gonna be more than one click, but it's not gonna be difficult. I think the one click here it's just easy, right? That's it. And you can only do this if at all you're premium. So you have to go premium to do this. But there's this other cool part, which is called web publishing. All right. So with web publishing, you don't need to go premium. You just need to, what is it called? Have access to the platform. So here, web publishing allows you to publish your FlutterFlow project to the web, like the attendance application was published using web publishing, right? So that's how you have access to use it on the web. Yeah. So this one is faster. So run mode finished a bit faster. So let's check it out. I think the reason why it delayed before was because this is the very first time we're running it, and so subsequently it gets to be faster. So let's just wait. It's gonna load up. There should be the purple icon. Where is purple spinner? Yeah, that's it. So now we have our email address showing here, and then we can click on logout, and it logs us out. So I can now go ahead and then actually log in. Okay, gmail.com. So I can now go ahead and sign in, and it can bring me back here, and I can log out. So that's it. We're done with the application. We can go ahead and then do the web publishing here. So for you to do web publishing after you built your stuff, because most of your assignments, the projects that you would do, all I would just need to see is I'll just need to see the web published link, right? So I'll just show you how to do it now, and so you can do it anytime that you need to do it. So here it is. It says the web publishing is in beta. Thanks for being an early user. So I believe you know what this means. They are still testing a lot of things. A lot of features here are just in beta stages, right? So if something crashes, don't blame them. It's still a baby. FlutterFlow is still a baby as well. So so you can put your SEO title here, site description. So this is yeah. So our page title we can just put here Logino app, right? Something like that. Then what else? You can upload an image. This is for premium features. Yeah, so we don't really need to do that. You can add a custom domain. You can connect your domain to this. I don't know if this is for premium. I've not tried it, but I will try it soon. Okay, so where is it? Where is it? What are we gonna do next? When we are done with this, so enable web supporting before publishing. So you have to open platform settings and enable web publishing. So I'll just turn on the web publishing here. So I'll come back here, and then I'll see all of the things that I've written. Then I can just go ahead and publish. It takes a couple of seconds for it to publish, and then after it's done publishing, it will give you access to a link you can use, right? So that's it. All right, so while this is going on, let's go ahead and look at our Firebase and see what happened. So I'm gonna reload this, and then you can see the different things there. The only thing that you'll be able to see here is going to be the email address, and of course there's nothing wrong with being able to see the email address of your users, right? So that's it. So users, it shows you the email address, the created time, right? And then it has this unique ID, right? This is not password at all. This is a unique identifier. Now, for every single user, there's a unique ID, because with this unique ID and email address, it can actually allow you to be able to help them recover their password, like the whole password recovery thing and all of that. Yeah, so which we will cover in subsequent classes. So I think that's it. So this is still deploying, and I'm not gonna wait for it to finish deploying. You know how the link looks like. So this is where we bring our training to a close. All right, so wow, so we still have like 62 people on this. This is really nice. And that was like a very intense tutorial. Yeah, and for everyone that has still been on this, this makes a whole lot of sense. So what else? I'm going to look at all the questions here, and then I'm going to attend to all of it now. So oh wow, okay, Kemjika said that it's 8.8 for standard annual. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Imagine in Nigeria it's $8.88. That's so cool. Imagine what that can do for your startup. Like the costs, that's going to now be like multiplied that by 12, and man, that's amazing. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just gonna go through the questions, right? So design is different from developer. This call design. Okay, can someone be called a developer with good experience in no code? Yes, you're a developer. What does developer mean? Someone who develops stuff, right? So yeah, so you don't necessarily need to call yourself a software developer. Well, you can still call yourself a software developer, like as far as you're not calling yourself a coder or something, so, or a programmer. The real name is programmer, right? For the other guys that write codes, I write codes too, right? So so you can call yourself a FlutterFlow developer, or just call yourself a software developer. That's perfectly fine. It's correct. You're not making any mistake calling yourself a developer. I'm saying that because of, okay, I'll be popping the question here. Can someone be called a developer with good experience in no code? Yes, you can be called a developer. Yes. Please, where can I fill attendance? Okay, so you can only fill attendance in the attendance application. If you check the comments, you will see the link. All right, so or you just try to join the WhatsApp group, and then we will be fine. Okay, so can we use FlutterFlow for only mobile, or is it useful for web? We can use it for web applications, right? So I didn't show you guys that part, but it allows you to, let me quickly do presentation. Like, we are going to have to end it like soon, please. All right, so where is it? Okay, so here it is, right? So where is it? Let's come back to the widget tree here. So if you can see, this is mobile. I can just click on this to put this whole casing on it. And then if you come here, you see different perspectives. So it says iPad Pro 11 inches, and a lot of things. Then there's desktop, you see? So this is desktop application, MacBook Pro, like it. So you can build a desktop, like a web version of the application. Of course, you've already seen that it can run on web. So all you just need to know now is the dimension. So here it is. You can have like 1280 pixel by 800 pixel. Yes, you can have that. So yeah, you can build web applications on FlutterFlow, right? So yeah, that works out very well. That was that was David's question. Sorry. Okay, so what other question do we have here? Is this a one-off step, or do we need to always grant access to FlutterFlow from Firebase? Okay, so this is a question from someone else. Is this a one-off step, or do we need to always grant for every single application that you're going to create, for every single project, right? You need to have a Firebase project. For every FlutterFlow project, you have to have a Firebase project, and you need to just do the configuration all over again. Don't worry, when you do it a couple of times, once, twice, it will become really smooth. You won't have any issue with it at all. Okay, so that's the question from City Woman. All right, so okay, so Akan, you don't have to be so worried. You can always rewatch this video. Like, his question is, I wish I started from the beginning. So yeah, you can always watch the video all over again. Then I'm trying to find. Okay, some person said the attendance app is not working. Don't worry, we will try to fix that in the group. Okay, so I'm trying to find. Okay, someone said, why didn't we tick the Google Analytics? I didn't want to do Google Analytics tracking on the application. It's a test project, so I don't need to do that. If you want to run Google Analytics on it, right? So no problem, you can leave it there. I will show you guys in the subsequent tutorial. That was from Ian Agro. So the Firebase, was it from Search Google or Inside Flutter? The Firebase is from it's from console.firebase.com, right? So I think that's the extension. So console.firebase.google.com. Yeah, so Firebase is a Google product, so that's how you have access to it, right? Yeah, that's like it. It's not inside FlutterFlow. No, it's outside of it. Okay. Okay, please. Okay, all right. So let's go back to the last questions. Can we use FlutterFlow for mobile? Okay, I've answered that. Can someone be called a developer? I've answered that. But you can deploy. Okay. Can see splash. Okay, where? Okay, someone is asking a question here. So talking about the server space, please. How much minimum is required to launch a project on the apps? So you just need to subscribe to FlutterFlow, and then for Firebase has its own pricing, right? Let me quickly come up with that. Firebase pricing, but it's actually really, really affordable. So you have what is it? You have so you can get 1 gig for $0.026. That's how cheap Firebase is, right? So you can, it's really, really affordable. Yeah, so with less than $1, you can, less than a cent actually, you can get 1 gig space. From what I'm seeing here, Firebase pricing Google. Let me open it and check it up again. So where is it? So yeah, that's very correct. That's correct from what I'm seeing here, right? So that's for authentication, yeah. So, but we'll try to cover that again later, like subsequently. Then what do you write at Firebase before you enable the detour? I don't understand. What do you write at Firebase before you enable the? Okay. You just write the project name, like the project. You write the project name, and then you turn off the wait. What do you write at Firebase before you enable the detour? I don't really know the detour you're talking about here, but if at all you're referring to the Firebase, when we're trying to create the Firebase project, yeah, you just write the project's name and then turn off Google Analytics, or leave it there if you want to, right? So yeah, and if you have some confusion on it, you can like rewatch this video. So SDK, what is SDK? Let me check the full meaning of it. So it's basically software development kit. That's what SDK means. It's an acronym for software development kit, right? That's it. Can other databases be used like backendless? Yes, yes, yes. You can use other backends like other databases. Sorry, you can use DigitalOcean. You can use other cloud hosting services like AWS, like you've mentioned here. So, can you also add a splash screen at the beginning? Yes, you can do that. Does the logo widget enable images or just text? It enables, you can add the logo. That logo widget was just a widget. It was just like a row, right? So the person who designed the template just decided to call it logo widget. Yeah, so yes, it can allow you to, a row can allow you to put images, text, everything inside it, right? So I will show you guys how to use like customized containers later. Okay, so can your app run ads? Yeah, it depends on how you are building your application. If you want it to like run Google Ad mobs, I think that's what you mean. So yeah, you can do that. You can run ads. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Someone answered software development kits. Beautiful tutorial. Wow. A no code developer. Okay. All right. So okay, so I'm just going to publish this and read it then. In the sign up part, if a person signs up, can it be done to lead to a code verification page where the person can fill? Yes, yes, yes. We will look at this also. Now, this is very seamless with FlutterFlow compared to Adalo. All right, so I'm just looking at the questions. So Firebase saves as backend. Firebase saves as the database. Yeah, you can do some server-side configuration over there in Firebase. So that's like your server, right? That's like where you store your information, right? So that's like the idea. So if I design my UI on Figma, is there a way to import it on FlutterFlow? Not that I know of, right? So I don't think that happens. Yeah. So but you just need to redesign it on FlutterFlow using drag and drop the widgets. Okay. So how do you redo an action? Control Z for you to redo an action, just Control Z, then you can go back. Then Control Shift Z can like take you forward, right? So Control Z can take you back. Okay. The FlutterFlow registration page is not loading. I had that complaint before, but I wasn't sure why. So I don't know why that is so, but just try to refresh your browser. Wow. Okay, so let's say use another browser, maybe Brave browser, or use Epic browser or any other browser and see if it improves. But it works here. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm really excited we've taken this training to this point. So now what you need to do is go back to the attendance application. So and then click on and sign out. Like let's see. Let me just make that presentation, and we won't be doing this frequently, right? So like I mean me showing you how to go ahead and punch in and punch out. It's something that you should be able to do seamlessly later on. So here, now that we are done, the tutorial has ended. We're done with the training for today. We'll have training again later in the night, right? Night, right? So we will have the labs, right? Yeah. So after this training, I'm gonna just drop it as a poll on the WhatsApp group and ask if at all there's any student who has some insights about how this was done and can explain it to someone else, right? That's gonna be the peer-to-peer class. So we'll have the labs and then we can have peer-to-peer simultaneously anyhow, right? So that's like the idea of the whole thing. So just come here, click on this, go to FlutterFlow, go to Monday, and then click to end class. Yeah, just click to end class. Yeah, you had already clicked to join classes. At the beginning of the classes, you click to join class. At the end, you click to end the class. So you'll be doing this for each day. So by tomorrow, you do the same thing. You will click join class now and end class now and all of that. Okay. So thank you very much for being part of this. And I hope you've been able to learn a couple of things. And we will get to see ourselves on the WhatsApp group. All right. Thank you very much for being here. And Soli had I would try to see how I can offer assistance. I will check out what happened to FlutterFlow not really working very well. So congratulations for everyone for being part of the first day, and congratulations to you guys. You guys are like the real G's, right? So well done, guys. Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening. All right, bye.